All right, I'm about to start, yo. Yo. Big up to everybody in the building. It's your boy Jason Gooner. We're back in the building, and you know what time it is, people. Reggae Boy Squad announced today. So, you know, it's time to discuss. And we have some special things in the works tonight as well. We have a special guest awaiting patiently. We're going to get him in very shortly to discuss some things about the game as well. Won't really bust any secrets, but you see a little hint in the title of the video. Of course, you see it's Jason Gooner TV, Reggae Boys November Squad live discussion, press conference reaction. So we're going to play that and discuss as well. And of course, the last thing in the title you see there is ticket giveaways. So that is a part of the surprise tonight, people. We have someone here to just discuss some things surrounding the game and also to drop off some gifts for some fans that are looking for a chance to get some tickets to go to the game. Of course, the game that I'm talking about is this Thursday, November the 14th, in the office, National Stadium, 8 o'clock local time. So we want to get as many people as possible in there. And of course, the more the merrier. If you get a ticket, of course, you want to take some people with you. So, you know, yes, that's how we get the stadium full, people. And we have to give credit as well to the folks that are in charge of getting more folks in the stadium. I, for one, as someone in the diaspora that gets a chance to just watch the games for the most part, you know, I've seen a definite improvement as far as turnout, and long may that continue. And I think the outreach that they have been doing has been great. And of course, it can be better, as with anything that you're starting out. You know, you learn from your mistakes and you keep moving, you keep getting it tweaked and getting it better. And I honestly believe that we will get there, because I can see the signs, and they're willing to put in the work as well, I can tell you. So, yeah, without further ado, people, I'm going to go ahead and get him on the stream. I know that it's a bit late, you know. Our fan base here at Jason Gooner TV, you know, sometimes due to man's life, sometimes the time is not permitting in normal hours, right? So we have to get creative and come live when we can. But, you know, it's always good information here at this channel. So if you don't catch the show live, it has good rewatch value. So that's why we still put out the content when we can. But since I have a special guest here and I don't know what's going on in his life around this, we're going to get him on the program. All right. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce 876 Streams own Ewan Campbell. He's going to come on, just say a few words about the upcoming game, things that they have in the works for the production of the game, right? And also he's going to let us know about some things that he has in store for the fan base and the viewers of Jason Gooner TV. All right. So without further ado, Ewan.
Well, man, greetings.
Yeah, man, big up. Yes, so I just wanted to kind of let the folks know that you are going to be, you know, entering the space. We are just getting started and everything. So as people come in, you know, just make sure you do the YouTube things for me, people. You like the video, you share the content. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to think about subscribing. All right. So Ewan, take it away.
Yeah, we have an exciting game coming up Thursday, November 14th, 8 o'clock, National Stadium, the office, back in action again. Reggae Boys, as you will be discussing later on in the program, you know, the squad of a returning resident, as some people like to refer to the term, as we have some new members in the squad as well. But overall, whatever squad discussions, you know, the Reggae Boys still is the brand that we support. So 100% behind the team. And of course, the aim is to just get the fans out and get the understanding and the awareness around the game. But more so importantly, you know, the message that we started with at the campaign back in June for the World Cup qualification game was Jamaica land we love. And, you know, whether you're the Timbuktu or not, whatever situation, scenario that comes, it's Jamaica land we love. And the Reggae Boys are our national heroes of modern day. You know, wearing the Jamaica flag, waving the Jamaica flag everywhere they go. So, of course, when they are here, we want to give them our support in every single way possible. So, yeah, we have a big game coming up, you know, arch nemesis. And we definitely want to make a stamp at the office and make sure that we represent well. So we need the support, we need the fans out, we need all and sundry. Tell your friend, tell your brother, tell your cousin, and yourself. Make sure that you're there. National Stadium, November 14th, 8 o'clock. Tickets are on sale already. They have been early out. I know a lot of you guys are buying tickets online, but of course, just for the information purposes, jff.football, you can visit that link and get your tickets. Grandstand tickets are $6,000. Bleachers tickets $1,500. And of course, we've creatively done something new within the stadium as well. So now we have a VIP section. I don't know if you've had a chance to experience that yet.
I haven't personally, but my
Yeah.
parents reside in Jamaica, and
Okay.
my mother would have it no other way. So
Yeah.
she did enjoy the VIP. I actually asked her about it tonight. We were having dinner. I
Mhm.
asked her about the sections in the stadium, and she was telling me the VIP section is quite nice. She
Yeah.
got her banana chips, and she got
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
rum punch and
Jules
whatnot.
and
So
yeah. Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
well
Nice.
taken
Nice.
care of. And she
Nice.
said I told her I was going to be speaking to someone from the brain trust who is bringing these things to the stadium, and she said
Nice.
2 thumbs up for that experience. She enjoyed it.
Nice. 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 Big up mommy every time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. So I did want to ask you though, Yuan. You guys would have gone through a couple of windows now. I think the World Cup. No, so the first would have been Canada, right?
No, man. We first would have been the World Cup
World Cup. Okay.
qualification.
So it's been 3 windows you have gone through.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to tell me, after going through a few windows now, tell me one of the things that you guys as a company and as a brand have learned and how you have kind of used that to push forward and help you. Like, what's one main thing you've learned after going through a few, practices of having these games?
Well, it's difficult to say one.
Okay.
We've
Better yet,
the
maybe
main sticking points. Yeah,
right, something that you'd say
I'll
is
try
an
and think.
important thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely say listening
Okay.
and listening directly to the fans, listening directly to um, your audience, your patrons on the YouTube channel, definitely listening to your peers and yourself,
Mm-hmm.
listening to the players, listening to the the request of the coaching and admin staff, and listening to the entire JFF and football network and the extensions of that, trickling down to Jamaica Premier League, the different FAs. So hearing what persons are asking for,
Right.
and trying as best as possible to be very direct with our approach and as best as possible to be very um, careful as well to make sure that we take as many things as we possibly can into consideration. So it's been a learning opportunity for us, I'd say. And when I say listening, I mean listening to the cries of the fans.
Right.
What are some of the things that they've yearned for in the stadium. We as football fans ourselves, we watch football, we used to play football. Being in the space as a child and growing up now to understand what modern football experiences are, but also looking at it from different elements. So taking into consideration what the avid sports fan wants,
Mm-hmm.
the true football fan,
Mm-hmm.
and what the social butterfly wants as well, who
Right.
want to come to a football game, um, not because they may know the 22 players on the field, but because it's an experience worth participating in.
Mm-hmm.
And so looking at that, that has even given us an opportunity to look at how do we create more things for the value of the ticket outside of just a football game.
Mm-hmm.
How do we create more things and more opportunities for our partners and our sponsors to feel more engaged in the process? And how do we build better long-term relationships for the next 18 months over this campaign, you know, which is inclusive of all the tournaments, but of course the big ticket is World Cup.
World Cup.
You know, so that's what I mean when I say, you know, we've listened. We've listened to the sponsors, most importantly as well. You know, how do we make sure that there's a value exchange for them, which now trickles down to the value that the patrons are going to receive. So like your mom getting her rum punch and her snacks and her juice and water, you know. So building out experiences is one of the main things that we've tried to champion. You know, just even making sure that the parking designation to come into the stadium, you know, if you have a parking sticker, you know, you have a parking space. You know, your VIP guests have ushers which are taking them, showing them where the designations and their seats are. You know, the smooth flow of entry into the bleachers, you know, and that's the biggest section of the stadium. So that has to be smooth. You know, so just looking at all of the different ways and areas in which we can improve the patron experience. That has been the main thing for us.
I had one question on the entry to the stadium. How many points of entry are there for bleachers ticket holders?
It increases game by game.
Okay.
It increases game by game. I'd say the first World Cup qualification game, it would have been a few gates that we had actually opened. We didn't open all the gates. Of course, you know, tempering crowd and managing the logistics behind that. But for each game, as time progresses, and of course, as the audience and the patrons getting bigger, then we move into opening different gates and ensuring that we have the right protocol and security systems and scanners and people in place and barricades and set up everything to make sure that that flow of experience is continued to be a good one.
Fair enough. Another thing I wanted to touch on, I know one of the major things that I know was a talking point in the YouTube space was, you know, it feels as if at times there's a disconnect between the fan base and the players of the national team. Of course, you know, it's not by anyone's fault. It's just the nature of international football currently with Jamaica. We're going to have players that maybe didn't grow up in Jamaica, never represented a school that you have a tie to them with, things of that nature. I have seen an initiative lately on Instagram, and I want to applaud you guys for it. And long may that continue. I'm assuming that is something that was your guys' brainchild, right?
Yeah, man. I mean, again, listening, because we've come to realize for ourselves, and of course, hearing it directly. So the conversations, we try our best not to make the conversations pass us, you know. So we hear something, even if we have discussed it internally, the fact that it now has now become a talking point, it's like, okay, no, we definitely need to put some things into action here to fix that. So we have a large contingency of overseas based players, and of course Jamaicanizing them is going to be critical, but it is going to be a process, and it is going to be I'm not going to say a challenge, but it is going to be a lot of deliberate steps along the way to make sure that the fans have that type of engagement. You may see someone on TV watching them playing them different leagues, and then 2-2 you hear say them in a Jamaica squad. And you might not even know say them have Jamaican roots at all. And so how do you connect with someone who you have no affinity with? You know, Akaim Dixon is probably the closest thing to a local hero we have right now. Schoolboy, football star, you know, community.
That is opportunity overseas.
Get him opportunity overseas. Anywhere him go, you know, love him to death. And when him come home, it's just Yeah, man. Want to see the ball I play. But of course, now when you have a different set of players that are now being integrated into the side, and the gelling and the meshing and all of that. But that will take time. But we are aware of it, and we are putting necessary plans in place. So there will be more opportunities for that. Maybe we're not getting all the opportunities now because, of course, this will be their last home game for
a good little
2024.
stretch.
Yeah, for a good little stretch. But to come, there will be meet and greet opportunities.
Well, what I was gonna say, not to cut you off, but since it's just in my mind, it would require a bit of work, of course.
Yeah,
but
man.
I think a good way to kind of keep the players that aren't around the local fan base in their conscience is the use of Instagram in terms of making sure to highlight anything these guys are doing.
Yep.
So a goal was scored today by I don't even want to call a player name because there's too many, but you know, and you repost what their club posted, and I think that's one of the quickest ways to at least keep the players in the folks' conscience. And sometimes some of the fan base don't really, they're not as into it as someone like I am, who literally every week looks for highlights, following it, tracking. We played 90 today, and I don't expect everyone to be that way, but us as the ones bringing the info to the folks, we need to be able to push that front and center. And I'm saying it needs to be, even if this player has only represented us a couple of years ago, if he's in the minds of the coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, highlight every single thing. And I said it will require some, maybe a person on that or whatever the case is. But I think that's something that could go a long way, because as you said, the opportunities to get like a meet and greet interview done with some of the schedules that I know these guys have is probably tough.
It's very tight. It's very tight.
Yeah, so because I know
even today, we drop a birthday post.
Right. I saw that.
And just continuously. Yeah. So you're getting now a little bit more information on the players.
Correct.
And understanding. So it's not just a Wikipedia profile you'd have to go to check.
Right.
To see when in born, do you personally have any similarities with your favorite player?
Exactly.
Or do you have any similarities or likings for this player's profile, him likes, him dislikes, So all of those little things, because what really and truly makes a fan is seeing themselves in the player, and or seeing an opportunity where they have characteristics that they think they share with the players, even if them can't play football.
Right.
But what are some of the attributes that either you see yourself having similarities to the player, or you aspirational, like they do some things or they say some things that you like?
Right. And we see it all the time in sports, right? You're watching let's say it's a basketball game, and at halftime they'll have a story on a player. Now, your wife might be watching the game with you. She ain't the biggest basketball fan, but she's a fan of stories. And that's why they put that story in the halftime, because they want to have someone else in the house besides me,
right?
Have a connection to somebody or something.
Right.
And so those little posts about birthdays and goals scored, and it could be anything. They did an interview, and you take an excerpt from it where he's saying about his time with the Reggae Boyz. You just put that up, like little things like that just keep the players in their conscience. I think we could do a little bit more on that end. So that would be a suggestion.
Welcome suggestion. Welcome suggestion.
Because as you said, Jamaica does have true football fans, and they're probably going to come if we had 876 stream or we didn't. Jamaica playing a game, they're showing up.
Yeah.
We need to tap into the ones that need that extra to come out.
A little push,
right. That connection that they could find. I am a Virgo too.
Yeah, exactly.
Or whatever it is,
Exactly.
So I think that is something that we can use that is just doesn't require much by way of capital, which is what we always trying to find ways to market without having to spend, right?
Yeah.
So that's just something that it's already out there for you, the info. You just need to source it and post it and, you know, get it going that way. So
yeah, man, definitely appreciate the insight.
yeah, man. Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to hold you up too long. You know, I know.
No, I mean, me there, man. Me there.
So yeah, so I see. Let me see. Let me just go through because I've been kind of neglecting my comment section. Okay, so I see a question here. Let me put it up on screen. Know Yourself is asking, can 876 develop a database for the coach, one that is user-friendly and easily accessible to him?
And this database, well, of course, I can't do a follow-up question because I would want to know where their mindset is in terms of the database for the coach. Having the database to find what piece of information exactly, you know?
Yeah, I'm wondering if obviously he would supply a list and you could somehow put it in the form of a database, but I'm not sure why they would need you to be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Know Yourself, clear up the question.
Clear up the question. Yeah.
I think there's a good question in there. We just
I just want answer it properly.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm with you. It's kind of a little ambiguous in a sense.
Yeah.
You know?
One piece more on it.
And bless up everybody we are checking. Duke, Sheridan, DJ, Gigs, all of the regular them, respect. Anybody brand new, as me say, subscribe, like, and share. You know the plan. All right. Looks like a lot of heated squad discussion. We're gonna get into that, people. We're gonna get into that. You know, Yuan is like Switzerland in these type of things, right? Can't really give off too many opinions when it comes to the players. He has a job, and we're going to keep him in that job. Jason Gooner TV has license to discuss all of that, but we're not going to bring you out of them madness there, all right?
Yeah. As we said, Jamaica land we love. So wherever, if them put on a jersey will look like the one we have on now, and go up on the field, we're all supporting them.
Absolutely.
I wanted to bring up though a part of the promotion that we're now utilizing. I want to say a big thank you to the diaspora groups that have come on board and supported now in an official way. And I know that a lot of the YouTubers are an extension of the diaspora groups. But of course, you know, you have the supporter groups now, like Reggae Boyz community, and the extension of, you know, Errol Walters and Kyle in New York, and a lot of the other members that have come together now to actually formulate how does the diaspora officially come on board to really and truly support. Because I mean, the groups have been probably doing their own individual initiatives, but I don't think that there's been a gathering of the groups together.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of a lack of direction, I guess you could say.
Right.
You know, everybody kind of doing their own thing. It's good that we're meeting at a table at least.
Yeah.
And even if you decide to go this route or that route, there's an ending in sight that you're trying to get to.
Yeah, man. The opinions are being shared, and you know, we're looking at the different resource pools and how we can get everyone together moving this vehicle forward. So that took place a couple of weeks ago, and I think it's perfect timing because now what we have is an opportunity for the follow-up game that's being held in St. Louis. We now have a section. Right. So the fans for the Reggae Boyz has a section. That's section 149.
I was about to say we have some diaspora fans, I'm sure, checking in right now and to check in later. So 149 people, so section 149
for the St. Louis game. That's where all the Jamaicans are supposed to purchase their tickets. That's our zone.
And that is behind one of the goals, right?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay, I think I looked at the grid and I want to say it's behind one of the goals, people, but I will check before.
So double check. But section 149, purchasing your ticket, that's where we'll be. And of course, that initiative was, of course, streamlined by one of the team members from the supporters group as well. So getting them to do that just means now that we have something going. So big shout out to the entire team for that. So that's one of the main things that I wanted to bring up as well, for the support, because a lot of times you have home games, but when we have the away games, the players kind of miss that, and then you might see a one Jamaican flag way over yonder, and then you see another one way over yonder, but there's no real effort in the support of where we can say, all right, our people are over there, so
Yes, I have the chart on the screen, people. 149 is right there behind one of the goals towards the corner there. That's 149. So that is the section where if you want to, well, I would suggest just get your ticket there, because that's where you will be able to make the most noise in that stadium. Noise travels a lot further, the more voices are making the noise at the same time.
Absolutely.
So if we all go to that area, people, you'll be surprised how much of a factor that could be.
Impact, huge impact. Yeah, man. So the reggae football fans, that group, led by guys again for getting this zone set up for the rest of the diaspora. So that's where you guys should look to purchase your tickets for the St. Louis game.
Yeah, wonderful news there. So that's something so simple that I honestly believe, and shared on with some information saying that section is sold out from checking Ticketmaster. So the hope is that is a bulk.
I think there is some tickets that are I'm gonna double check with you, because I think they're actually holding some tickets for us.
Okay.
So if you're checking to buy your tickets and you're still not seeing the tickets available, I'm gonna give you some additional information, Jason. I'm just gonna check with the team and confirm. But from my recollection, they did have a set of tickets that they were holding for us, even if you're not seeing it online. So I'll do a double check so you can give the audience an update.
All right. So one of my viewers say he bought his last week, so big up float.
Yeah, man.
Yes, that is what we need to see, that actual support. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. It's no good just talking all night and not doing the deeds, right? So
now go on.
So you guys, yeah, man, keep up the big work. We really love to see everybody trying to work together, all the different stakeholders, no matter what your address is. We're all Reggae Boyz fans, and we all want to see the team do well at the end of the day. So one way to ensure that we get the best out of the boys is just giving them that support on the game days. So I'm really, really imploring all you Reggae Boyz fans, whether you're at home or you're abroad, if you have the means and the way to get to these games, please try and make it happen. Yeah, man, make it happen.
And another piece, getting to the game, as you said, getting to the game. For our local supporters, i.e. those in the 876, please, may I beg you, please, do, may I beg you, come out early now.
Yes.
Boy, we have a hard time. Where I get the crowd, What guess what going on now, Jason? The crowd reach when the first half done.
May I see it, man?
I may I say, and want to wait till 7:45.
Yeah.
Come on, 8
I mean, it's like I know I used to do a thing where if I am keeping something and I know people, just tell them an hour before, but you can't really do that, right? So
game time advertise. But all I'm saying, guys, please remember, our country is an island. We have limited road capacity. We don't have anywhere that have 6 lanes across, even our nicest highways, right? You're gonna have traffic.
Leave out a little earlier.
Even though it's an 8 o'clock game and you feel like you have time, still leave out a little earlier. And why I'm asking you and imploring you, asking you nicely, and not begging, but asking you very, very, very nicely, It's because we're putting together a nice entertainment package pre-show, you know. So we can't have show on the stadium empty, you know. So look out for the info that's coming out this week on what that pre-show is, you know, and the pre-game show elements, and you know, coming into 2025, I'm guaranteeing you that because we're gonna have a lot more sponsors on board, we're gonna have a lot more activities on board. A lot of things will miss you if you only show up for the second half of the game. So I'm telling you, there's a real
Added
benefit,
value. Yes.
added value for you to reach early. So get your practice from now. Don't make next year window come and you're still I left out half hour before the game. Yeah, get your practice from now. Start coming to the stadium early. You know, we're getting you guys to come, but we want you guys to be there a little earlier. So, you know, there's a lot of activities to come. There's a lot of options for, you know, winning things in the stadium. You know, you never can tell. Even maybe money, you don't know. But so
People love the idea of that. So
yeah, so you know, what good would it be for you to purchase your ticket, which has so much value, and you want to come and catch piece of the game? You know, yeah, I'd say you almost would have waste your money. So get the best out of your money that you spend, and reach at the game early. You know, and the players would like to thank you for it as well, personally.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I took away from the last few windows was just the appreciation. You know, every player that was asked about the game, they all said, you know, long may this continue. I've never felt like this coming to play. So,
Yep.
you know, it definitely has an effect, positive effect on the
Yeah.
players. And, you know, I know that, you know, people can say, boy, it rough to please a yard crowd, you know, which
It
is
is.
true,
It
which
is.
is true.
It is. It is.
But I feel like, to be honest, regardless of all that, they will take the criticism if the stadium is full.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. For
You
sure.
know,
For
they
sure.
don't care.
For
They
sure.
just want people to be there. They just
For
want to
sure.
feel like people
Imagine, yeah, I
care
mean,
enough to come.
imagine having maybe you've played at the senior level 5 years ago, and the last couple of games that you were at representing the country, stadium is empty. And
Yeah.
you feel that way, but you never really know how to express how you feel that way about that. Because when you go back at your club, stadium full. And I said, but at them style I'm used to. Even if we're not the champions or even if we're not compete for the trophy, but at least them give a little support, you know, and show up. So showing up is important. And I'll tell you that I remember just having the opportunity to watch a piece of the game and, you know, see a very definitive moment when they were playing the ball from keeper out and the drum was it was like a lull period in the game, but drums were active. Dum, 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 and I saw the tempo that the players were playing with.
It almost gave them a
The drum,
yeah.
and they were almost playing rhythmic like to the beating of the drums. I mean, I said, this is nice, you know. And this is the stadium atmosphere that we want to continue to set. And so, you know, big up everybody that has been supporting the process. You know, shout out to our entertainment groups as well that have been giving us support. You know, it's good to have, and it's a warm welcome to have, you know, the entertainers back in the stadium again watching football, you know, and supporting the Reggae Boys. So the whole crew, you know, them know themselves, them first
Well,
early.
my dad was especially thankful to get a picture with Miss Leela. He loves Leela, so
Yes, man.
he was
Yes, man.
very,
Yes,
very
man.
thrilled to take a picture.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You know, Leela show up in our clocks.
And that's something. Look, you and I can tell you the honest truth. You know,
Mhm.
in during the '98 cycle, when I was a much younger youth, right?
Mhm.
Every entertainer came to those games. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
anyone you can think of were at those
They're
games.
all there. They're all
Most
there.
of them would go down at halftime and drop a tune as well. But even
Right.
if that wasn't going on, they were there. I
They
mean,
were there.
didn't miss them. And I think,
Yeah.
you know, entertainers in the country, and I think politicians know this, they're extremely influential people.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so
I
you know,
mean, and again, the reason why we're so grateful for them is that they have also taken on the mantle of not just coming to the game, but actually you really and truly genuinely
oh, you can tell that they're
genuine
fans.
support. They're
Absolutely.
actual real fans, and they support by telling other persons. So it's not even just coming to the game and showing up. No, they're galvanizing people to come to the game as well.
They have
You
some of the
know,
largest crews when they come. So that's
yeah, 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 yeah. And of course, there's an exchange as well. So you know, you have them coming to the game, bringing their family, bringing their friends, buying tickets not just for themselves and their families, but buying tickets for persons and doing giveaways on their own end. I mean, it's tremendous, you know. And you know, you have the genuine lovers of the game, and you have those who have extended themselves into being at, you know, the social gatherings. As somebody just said, I don't is at every game, every single game. Nah, miss him. I remember he's telling us directly, like, listen, he's a fan, you know, like a super fan, you know. And it's very prideful to know that you can count on these guys, the Jesse Royals, that whole
collective.
collective, that's all, you know, Naomi and Rasai and Lil and
And
Stefan and the whole crew, you know. Then you have Chris Martin, now miss a game. Only reason why Sas come out and miss a game if I have business
other
outside,
things are going.
other
Yeah.
things are going, but he's always present as well.
If available, he's there.
If
And
available,
Wayne is another super fan.
exactly, you know, and the list keeps growing and growing. And so we
And I'm
continue to
sure,
do this.
this latest initiative and you know, groundswell would have brought back some that maybe were disillusioned as well.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So you know, it's good to see that, and it's good to feel that energy again, and we're super grateful for it, and you know, the support is necessary, and we're just happy to get the opportunity to actually just participate and build this out. Yeah, man.
Well, look, at some point, I'm gonna get going in the squad discussion. So
Yeah, man. So I'm not keep you up no longer. So
let's
here's
move
what
up.
we're gonna
Move up
leave you
now. Yeah,
with.
you lead the train on this.
So you know, it's not Christmas, but we come with gifts. So we have some ticket giveaways. So Jason, I will leave you to ask the questions.
All right.
You can ask the questions, but just know that we're giving away 2 tickets, 2 bleachers tickets to the game. You know, courtesy of Jason Gooner TV.
That's
All
right.
right. So thank you for your channel. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about the game. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about the Reggae Boys and everything that you've been doing so far. You know, big up yourself.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, we have 2 tickets for 2 lucky winners. Jason's gonna ask a question.
All right. So look, I will ask a question. I know me's a brother where know a lot of things about the game. So I don't want to
Yeah.
go far.
No, make it too hard.
Make it impossible for the people, them, right?
No, make
So
it impossible.
first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it current. All right. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back in my archives. So we're
Yeah,
gonna
never too far.
try to keep the question to a, you know, a more recent times Reggae Boys
Yeah, man.
question. So
yeah. Even if
let
I
me
this year.
even think of one, but off the top of my head, right?
Hmm.
So people and listen, if so hold on, if two ticket can't work, man have to walk with them woman. So the person will win now go win the 2 ticket boss and then can take it.
Yeah.
Yo, Duke, it difficult, you know, bro. All right, let me see. And basically, people, you can just type it in the comment section. Whoever type it first.
Type it in the comment section. Whoever type it first, win the 2 tickets.
Simple,
and
simple, man.
I hope you have your ready. Look like you and your woman set for the game. So, you understand?
For real.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So I want to ask you guys this question. When we faced Panama in the 3rd place match last year in the Nations League, who scored our only goal, which was the winning goal of the match? Easy question, people. Easy question. Type it in the comment section. The first person to put the name, gonna win. Gonna win. 2 tickets to the bleachers. Sheridan. Ooh, look like Sheridan first, yo. Sheridan first, yo. All right, so look, we can do it this way, you know, people, because we have 2 tickets, you know, and I say 2 people type it first. I say Sheridan win. I'm say Sherman type it in the same time.
Right? I will have a photo finish.
Right. So since I don't have the capability to put a photo finish,
yeah,
I think the fairest thing to do, Yuan.
Yeah.
We have 1 ticket for Sheridan.
Yeah.
We have 1 ticket for Sherman.
Fair enough.
I don't know, make up. And if you don't want to take on a woman, you know, do what you want to do anyway, I don't know, buy a ticket.
Fair enough.
Simple as. So I guess the easiest way, you can just send them to me and I can get it to them.
Yeah, man. So you get details. Congrats to the winners. See you at the game. So I'll send you the tickets. You collect them details.
So Sheridan same forfeit, and that makes sense because now that I'm thinking about it, Sheridan is in Florida, so you can't go to the game.
Oh.
So let me see. I think did somebody else say it? So Sherman said it, and then a man say him win. All right. So Darren Scott. Boy, Michael, you should have just answer. You could have win too. Yeah, tell me Sheridan win. You should have just said the name. All right, Darren Scott. Let me write down your name because I don't believe I have seen you here before, Darren. So Darren Scott and Sherman. So hold on. On our family, Sherman, you saying your cousin? Sherman planned the thing, man. Him saying cousin in the yard too, and him say, yo, log on and answer this.
Real fast.
All right, so Sherman and Darren. So the Scott them look like them take it, you know. So we'll still split the ticket, them people. And yeah. So Sheridan, I'm gonna give your ticket to Darren, all right? And Sherman, I have a link for you already, so we can get it to you. But Darren, if we figure out a way, I try to figure out the best way, Darren. All right. Darren, this is what you can do, Darren. Search this on IG and send me a DM. So that is my handle right there, Jason Gooner TV on IG. Just search me up and send me a DM, and I'll get that to you, Darren, because I will have the tickets and send them on. All right. Yeah, but Yuan, unless you want to say a few final parting words to the folks.
Yeah, man. Just thanking everybody. You know, big up the viewers. Like, share, and subscribe to Jason Gooner TV. Great channel, Jason. Thanks again for all the work you've been doing. So yeah, the plan: beat the US at Jamaica, beat the US at their home, and then we'll move on. So in order for us to do that, we need as much support, we need as much energy around the game, we need as much confidence being oozed from us, the fans, to the players. You know, if you've been watching or noticing some of the content, we utilize in a very specific part of one song where say we never fear them. You know, we not fear them. So big and bad and brave as they may be, That's an our prerogative. And the business with that, you know, we are doing what we need to do, and we're gonna win the game. And so we need to believe that as fans and make the players and know that we believe that. And we're gonna take it home. So November 14th at the office, 8 o'clock, pre-game show. Look out for the details. For those of you who are in Jamaica, please leave out a little earlier. Beat the traffic.
Yeah, man, people. The game starts 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Put your name on to the game starts 7.
Don't watch none of the commercial. I lie them, I tell you. 7 o'clock, the game starts.
7 o'clock.
Yes.
7 o'clock. Come to the stadium at 7. If you reach after 7, you're late. Right? So, yeah, man. So thanks again for the support, guys. And, you know, Jamaica land we love. Respect and manners.
Yeah, man. Big up you and keep up the good work. And yes, thanks again for turning up and, you know, dropping some tickets on the viewers and everything. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Respect every time, man. Big up.
All right, big up, big up.
Cool.
So once again, people, that was Johan Campbell from 876 Stream. Just want to thank him for his time. Just talking about the game a little bit, some of the initiatives they've been up to with the Reggae Boys. So yeah, he told you people, if you have plans to get to this game, there are some things in the works for pre-game that you don't want to miss. And if you pay your money, you want to get the full value for your money, get to the game as early as you can, people. Don't wait. Don't go home after work. Just have your shirt with you, change in the bus or the taxi or in your car or whatever it takes, people. Get to the stadium early so that when the boys them walking out and the anthem are sing, the stadium look like how it was looking in the second half of the last couple of windows. Let's try to get that before the game start, people. That's the only thing I'm asking people. Just get to the game on time. I totally agree with you on that. But anyway, that was that portion of the show, people. But now, you know, I forget to the meat. Zine? Why for that, said Duke? Because you not forget to no meat and nothing. But we forget to, you know, boy, we don't even know what to say. I forget why, no matter what we're going to say. But we're going to talk about the squad now, people. So first and foremost, before... yeah, Duke, I catch it. It was horrible. It was about to be horrible, you know? Big up yourself, coffee. Yo, it is horrible. See all Robert why me, everybody why me. But I saw it go still. I messed up, you know? But listen. All right, first, you know, because we have the squad ready for talk about, but I think it would be great if we just take our time and listen to the press conference today. What do you think, people? And I agree with me. I could just play the press conference and discuss, and then we'll pull up the squad and talk about it. All right, I could do that, people. I could do that. We're going to do that. Because I think the context of what the coach said in the press conference is important to the discussion. So let's do that. Let's do that, people. What's the best place to play this from? Bonefish American. Yeah, man, I'm gonna play it and stop it and discuss, Duke. That's the plan. All right, so let me get this. Oh, by the way, people, I was listening and kind of watching
it's greatly appreciated
MLS playoffs, and the great Lionel Messi has been knocked out by my home team, Atlanta United, tonight. So no MLS Cup for Messi and Inter Miami after them mash up the league all season, you know? Kind of crazy. Enough respect, Pristine. Why, Pristine, you can still give me the rest of your score, them, you know? I'm gonna have every score except the game them tomorrow from me, you know? And you don't really go on 3 bad today, so you have a chance. So yeah, you need to send me the 4 game them tomorrow, Pristine, here? Yeah? All right, so we're gonna play and stop. All right, so let's get this going.
press conferences of squad
Just give me
announcements
a
on a
thumbs up
Friday,
if
so
you
thank you
can
very
hear
much
it
for your
properly.
patience. It's the squad announcement for the United States in the Concacaf Nations League Quarterfinals. The first leg, the 14th of November in Kingston. The second
Good.
leg on the 18th at City Park in St. Louis, Missouri. We're joined by the head coach of the Jamaica Senior Men's National Team, Mr. Steve McClaren, who will give a few opening remarks, and then we'll get into the squad itself. So, Coach, welcome back to the island. How are you doing?
Yeah. Well, I must apologise first because I'm absolutely gutted that I can't see you in person because I enjoy our little press conferences and seeing you all face to face. So I'm gutted that I can't do that. Unfortunately, the train's on Wednesday. We're playing up and we had 3 trains to get to the airport.
I wasn't gutted about that. I was able to ask a question
today.
today.
Last night was the time that I got
2
in.
even.
So I apologise that I couldn't see you in person, but I suppose this is as good as anything. So thank you for turning up on a Saturday morning. And yeah, the squad, everything will be the same. Just the outs, I'll just name the outs, which Norman Campbell.
That was interesting right away. He said the squad, everything will be the same. Just the outs. So everything will be the same. I thought that was funny.
Norman, very, very, very unlucky not to be in this squad since he came in the first. He's been fantastic around the group. He's been contributing to the games. He's played for his club. Yeah, sorry, I think that was the wife just interrupting for a cup of coffee sometimes. So yeah, Norman's been very unlucky to be left out of this squad. I spoke to him. He obviously was gutted about it, but I explained the situation. He's done well. He's still part of us. I can only pick a squad of 23. I wish I could have picked more. That's what talents we've got out there. And Norman, he's always will be in our minds, so we'll keep following him.
First question, folks. Was anybody surprised Norman Campbell didn't make the squad? You know, I did my 23 yesterday, and I had Campbell in it. Was anybody surprised he didn't make this this squad? Just let me know in the comment section. I'm gonna play again.
Bobby Reid. Unfortunately, Bobby, his wife is expecting their child during the international break, and he wants to be obviously there at the birth, which is only natural. We understand that family is very important. So he can't make it. John Bell, with Amari Bell coming back into the squad. John again contributed to the squad last time. So he's a bit unlucky. Same with Kevin Lambert, who was a late addition the last camp, didn't feature but contributed to the camp in terms of his experience. He knew the boys. His attitude was great in training. That's the most important. So he's unlucky as well. And Mikel Antonio, who got a yellow card, is suspended for the first leg. Will join us later on in the week and be available for the second leg. So that's kind of the outs. The people who have come in and replaced them, I've got Isaac Hayden, who I think the JFF have been chasing for quite some time. I've had 2 or 3 calls with him since I took the job. He's desperate to play. You know, he's at that stage in his career where it's he needs to kick on, and this is one of the ways that he can. He's at Newcastle at the present moment. He needs to find a club, but he's training, working hard, keeping fit, playing games, and it's great that we got the passport through from him. He visited Jamaica personally himself to be available, so he made that commitment. And I think it's best he comes in now rather than waiting for March just to get used to the group and us to get used to him. So he will be a welcome addition to our squad in terms of a genuine number 6. who's played at the highest level in that position. He's an ideal candidate for us, so I'm pleased that we've got him. The other additions is Leon Bailey. Several conversations since I took the job. We've really formed a good bond between us.
All right, let me just pause it right there because he's talked a bit on Isaac Hayden. You know, I said when I was doing my Dream 23, I did pick Isaac Hayden, and it kind of went against, and CC and some others were beating me for this. It went against what I always say, which is, you know, I'm not going to be sitting here telling you guys who's playing every week and what they've done, and then turn around and pick players that aren't doing anything. But I just believe that the state of the number 6 position in general is in such a bad way that we had to have an unconventional pick in my eyes for that position, regardless of whether the player is under match fitness or not. Remember, you know, the number 6 role, yes, you have to be physical and you have to be able to get around the pitch, but if we're being totally honest, the player that I think played the number 6 role probably the best in the last few years would have probably been Anthony Grant. And Anthony Grant wasn't really covering the ground so well, but he read the game well and he understood the position very well. I think with Isaac Hayden, you're going to get similar in terms of IQ for the role. You know, you're going to find that maybe he doesn't need to be in so many sprints because he has read the game and is in a position to be able to be close enough to the football when he needs to be. I think that's a part of the reason why I went against everything I stand for and put Hayden in the team, because I just feel like we're just lacking a player that can have the same skill set he has. You know, Latibo there is tactically astute and he tries to play the role, but he has his limitations in the role. And I think they mainly stem from just his comfort level receiving the ball under pressure. I think that's something that Isaac Hayden, automatically, it's going to look better because he's just more familiar with receiving the ball under pressure in those areas. And I think that's going to help the team in the long run. So it goes against everything I stand for, but drastic times call for drastic measures, which I said yesterday. So I'm actually happy that he did come in, even though on a match fitness point of view, I can see where people are a bit concerned.
And he was so unlucky the first 2 camps through injuries. He's really suffered from little niggles, which has been hampering him. But now he's had 2 or 3 weeks after missing the last camp where he's got his fitness back. He's playing regular now, playing 90 minutes regular, which he did in the Champions League during the week. And I spoke to him and said, yeah, finally we're going to see Leon Bailey. And he's absolutely delighted. Can't wait to come over and be part of the squad. He's very keen to do that, very enthusiastic about Jamaica. And he always has been on the phone. So it's great that we finally get him in and we can look at him and he can look at us and contribute to the next camp and the next games. Amari Bell comes straight back in. We missed him for 4 to 6 weeks with hamstring. He played his first game, 90 minutes last week. Hopefully plays again today and comes through that okay. So he's included. Also, Shamar Nicholson, kept in touch with Shamar since the last camp, which we fully understood he wanted to stay at his club, regain his fitness, hired a personal trainer, has been working hard with him, has been getting more minutes within his club, scoring goals as well and assisting. And speaking to him this week, he's focused, he feels fitter, and he feels that he's ready to actually contribute to our squad and to our team. So we're delighted to have him, especially in the absence of Mikel in the first game. And the last one to come in, Dijon Bernard, who missed the last squad through a groin injury. He's been back playing for about 2 or 3 weeks. no problems. I like Deshaun. I thought he came on second half in Honduras. Great performance. Helped us to get the win. So it's good to have him back into the squad. There are players, obviously, which you'll want to question. I've heard a lot of publicity about, and always around Mason Greenwood. I'm constant touch with Mason. The message is always the same. When the time is right, you've got to think that he's had a traumatic time, 2 years in his contract. And he's been on loan, he's been here, he's been there, his publicity. And I think he just wants to settle in at Marseille and enjoy his football, which he's doing. And he wants to join the Reggae Boyz. I know that every time I speak to him. I've no reason to doubt that. And the process goes on. I didn't expect it to be, once he missed the first camp, any of these camps. But I'm hoping by March time we'll have made progress on everything. As I say, our whole project and process is about World Cup qualification. And that's still, I know, in the horizon, but it's still something that we're thinking about now and planning for in the long term. So Mason, we keep an eye on and keep you posted on that. The other who was...
All right, people. So he said he touched on Mason. Why? He spoke about Mason. And he basically just giving us reassurances that, look, yes, the process is maybe taking longer than we thought it would, but he has no reason to believe that Mason doesn't still want to play for us. He said every time he's spoken to him since right before he got the job and after, he's not changed anything. So yeah, I think at this point, he basically said, once we didn't get him for the first window he was here, he never really thought in his mind that we would get him by November window. He said March is more likely. So if March rolls around and we need to, if he's not in the team in March, I think we need to revisit. And if he doesn't mention Mason in his pre-speech before the squad is announced, then we can start to say, okay, what's going on? And if I have a chance, I will ask directly about it. But look, people just need to relax. Looks like he still wants to play for us. I never doubted that, honestly. And I don't really believe that the holdup is anything due to him having cold feet or second thoughts. I do think that there's just some things going on, within his own camp that needs sorting out. And once that happens, everything will be good to go. But I agree with the coach. I do think that there's no reason to panic, him changing his mind or something right now. I think we just need to have a little patience. And yeah, we'll let this time pass and then we revisit what's going on in around the March time. Let's continue.
Attractive publicity is Ravel Morrison. And I know he's finally back playing. He's had 4 games, his first 4 games for 18 months. So he's had no rhythm, no momentum, not training. But now he's training. He's playing in Dubai. He's had 4 games, scoring, assisting. And Ravel is someone I know well, work with him. My type of player. I love that type of player. And I think it's one that I never thought the first 3 camps that he would be involved, but we'll certainly, after this camp, be picking him up over the next couple of months and seeing how he's playing in Dubai, keeping an eye on him. So the door is never closed on anybody, and definitely not Ravel. The game itself, I'm excited.
All right, so look, people, let me pause it right there. This is a discussion that's been really, really prevalent all amongst all the YouTube creators. Ravel Morrison, people, obviously a player that we know when it comes to talent, it's you can't go around the fact that he's an extremely, extremely talented footballer. Perhaps it's the intangibles that maybe go missing sometimes for Ravel. But in terms of just out and out playing football, there's no doubt he's one of the most talented players that Jamaica would have in their player pool. Now, he did mention a few things there. And again, it kind of goes against what was said about Hayden in terms of, the match fitness not being there. He said he played a total of 4 matches in the last 18 months. Now, when you compare that to Hayden, it's not quite the same. Hayden had a full season last year where he was playing football. He spent the first half of the season in Belgium, playing in the first division there. And then he spent the second half in the season playing in the championship for QPR. So, he didn't have as long of a stretch without football or first team playing football. And of course, would have been a part of the first team in the summer at Newcastle. And it wasn't until the season started on it, obviously, that he would have been kind of told that he's not a part of Eddie Howe's plans, and you're basically going to get your time with the reserves squad. So that's pretty much what he's been up to. Now, Ravel, on the other hand, finally secured a contract. He's over there in Dubai, playing in the UAE second division, which, it's tiered. So the top division is the UAE Premier League, right? Then you have the UAE First Division, which is the second tier, and that's where Junior Flemings currently plays. And then you have the UAE Second Division, which is the third tier of football over in the UAE. So that's where Ravel Morrison currently plays. Now, I'm just pointing that out to give people the honest level that Ravel is playing so far. No, but energy, it's not about excuses. The reason why Hayden is picked and not Ravel is we have seen Ravel playing deeper in the midfield. Everybody cussed Ravel for giving away a penalty in Mexico in that game where we drew 2-2. So CDM is still the area that requires help. Isaac Hayden gets in this team because he is an actual number 6. All these other players we've been putting at number 6 play number 8, number 10, or they're defenders. So that's why he kind of jumps over a lot of other players and gets into the team right away, because of the skill set that he possesses. It's like if, all right, I need, what's a good example? I have 2 people that want to work, but the work is like painting, or not even painting, but putting up like some kind of railing in some high area, and we're not on a ladder. We have to just stand up and do it. I'm gonna get them, send me 3 people, and 2 of them are 6 foot and 1 of them are 5'2". Obviously, I'm gonna tell the 2 6-foot brother them, yo, are you me I go use for that job here because me need height. You know what I'm saying? So energy, when I did the 23 squad show that I did the other day, I said to people, this goes against everything that I stand for in terms of picking players without playing games. But for me, this guy does have a skill set that we don't have anywhere in the player pool almost. So if he has the ability to play, which he does, he's fit in terms of like no injuries, match fitness, I wouldn't say it's the best. But I just feel like his skill set, his know-how, his experience, it can be used right away. And I agree. Duke said it up a little further up, saying, boy, it's not going to be easy for him right off the bat. It could be a baptism of fire for him. I agree with that. But I would rather him go through this baptism of fire now and get get used to playing with these players and everything, because from what I see, the minute he, is on some match fitness, it's a no-brainer. And even without it, just because we're so lacking in that department, I think it was a no-brainer to put him directly in the team. Sifana say he's the only CDM. It cannot be easier than that. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to call him slow, but I'm going to try to explain it to him and see why. Because on the surface level, I could see where energy is coming from, because it doesn't make sense. I'm the proponent of let's keep track of the players and see what they're doing. But this situation is a little different because of the needs of the team. That's all. Sheridan saying facts. what if the 6 foot man them weak? Rob Smith have said about say yo that too surface level. It was something I thought of in the moment. Maybe not the greatest analogy for what I was talking about, but really it was more so to paint a visual picture of what I'm saying, which everybody should have gotten. Just Rob Smith is a bit like me, difficult. What do you think going to happen when other players realize they don't have to put out and still get picked? Energy, I don't know. The only way that this scenario could happen again, Energy, is if somehow next month another number 6 get a passport. Because I think in most other positions, I wouldn't say we're like fully covered to the point where we wouldn't want new players, but definitely not new players that aren't playing. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a spot on the field that just requires surgery. And the fact is, he seems to be the only surgeon around right now to do the damn surgery. So we're going to try. Caribbean said we need Ravel. One Ravel. We could have still picked Ravel, though. He could have played some minutes, drop one of the 10 defenders. Float, I agree. I don't agree with not calling Ravel because I think, for one, when you look at the composition of the squad, there are 9 defenders. In my squad the other day, I said, look, I'm capping it at 8, mainly because I know that some of the players, the defenders themselves that we're picking, they can play multiple roles in the back line. Amari Bell could easily slide to center back. Holgate probably listed as a center back, can play right back. So there's enough rotation in the defenders, even if it's just 8, that I would be happy and pleased with. And I always thought a 6th midfielder was way more important than having an extra defender. Right? And if you look at and really analyze this squad, Joel Latiba there, who I had in my list listed as a defender, is listed as a midfielder. So in reality, it's really 10 defenders in this squad. And for me, that's too much. And then Isaac Hayden is the only really number 6 or central midfielder, deeper line central midfielder in the team. So I think it's a complete crime that Jonathan Russell isn't in the team. And as I play the comments, you guys will hear how I thought about it and why I spoke about it as well in the press conference when I had a chance to talk. But yeah, Energy, I get that. It's like for morale of the other players, what does that do? You know what I mean? That's why, because Hayden is there, I would have sacrificed one of those center backs or defenders, period. And I would have had either Ravel Morrison or John Russell in the team. And I would have slightly leaned towards Russell because I want some more options in that deeper line midfield role. Because right now, in this team, from what I've seen the coach play, Joel and Hayden are really the only 2 deeper line players. I know he plays Anderson and Palmer there, but for me, they should be played further up the park. And he ain't putting McGee back there. So, we're very light in that area. And Isaac Hayden is not match fit. We expect him to play 180 minutes against USA with their press and the pace of play that we're going to have to deal with. I don't think that's going to be possible, you know what I mean? We could have still picked Ravel, though. I agree. Hayden needs to play well to get a contract in January. Yes, I think as well as he works for us, it will work for him in his career. Imagine if we never have a goalkeeper and I try a CDM as keeper, then we get a real keeper. Are you going to use the fake keeper over the real keeper? Well, that's extreme, but yes, I get why you're saying that. JJ, I think the issue the coach has with Russell is he doesn't hustle enough and commit to duels. Okay, as a CDM. Fair enough. I think John Russell is a creative player, though. So I don't know. I guess because he's tall and the size he is, we just think he has to play there. If you look at his latest breakout for Barnsley, he's not playing a 6 role. He's really playing more of a box-to-box 8 role. And he's even had some games playing the 10. So, is it just another case of, again, we don't have deeper midfielders. So we put any midfielder deep. And maybe that's not really the best in their game. I've always said I really don't care what logics a coach employs to get players in his squad. I will judge them on the field, not the squad list. Fair enough, fair enough. Adam's a real talk, Jason. Big up, Adam. Respect for being here. Long time I not see you, bro. Respect for forwarding tonight. You realize the coach didn't pick players who aren't playing regularly. Example, Ravel Hayden being a CDM is an exception. It's not a free-for-all, really. Yeah, I think it was specific areas of the pitch he had to kind of, you know, he even mentions it later in the press conference that our players are not getting minutes, which I've said, and a lot of people have said. I get why he's there, but it's too common now. Holgate get a debut last month with no minutes. That is true. That is true. Holgate did get a debut. And I think apart from the first maybe 35 minutes of the first game or the second game when he started, I don't think Holgate was as bad as everybody said, personally. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't think he was as bad as everybody said. He had some bonehead moments in the first part of the game, and he went long a bit too many times than he needed to. I think actually he was going long because he was looking and saying, boy, I don't like these options, so let me just go long, you know? And, you know, it gave me a new respect for, you know, Damian Lowe and some of the others I used to cuss, because in that game, he went short a few times. They got dispossessed, and he said, I ain't doing that no more. The issue is that they are afraid to drop certain players in the defensive area. That is why a midfielder is sacrificed. Sheridan, I believe you're onto something, my friend. That's like saying you're not going to fire an employee. What's like saying that? 10 defenders and 4 mids to play 2 legs against the US, dying with laugh. Yeah, J. Ross, it's crazy. Don't rule out Lowe as a CDM with Hayden. For real enough, Anna. Maybe Hayden just has to come in and prove himself. If he doesn't, the experiment will be very short. Nations League are the best games to try players versus US is the best test for Hayden. Cygnus, that's probably the best thing I've heard so far. Read this Hayden thing. If you want to test him, what better opportunity than USA in a 2-leg? It not really get higher than this in Concacaf, you know. So you might as well do it now.
I think the last camp, the last 2 games, the mission was get the job done, qualifying. We finished top of the league. We were delighted with that. And to be given an opportunity to test yourself, the team, against top quality opponents, there's no more top quality than the USA. And with a new coach, Pochettino, who I know well, have come across, coached against, very, very good coach. That Tottenham team he had in the Premier League was excellent. His experience since has been top, world-class football, world-class coach. And USA have really got a very, very good coach for the next World Cup, because they're already qualified. So this is, you know, it's like myself, and he will be the same. It's looking at players, looking at squads, looking at systems, looking at the way of playing, and building towards the World Cup. His advantage is he's already qualified. Ours is we need to qualify. So this is an important game for us. It's an opportunity to gain Gold Cup qualification in terms of rankings and getting into the semi-finals, which will automatically get us there. It's an opportunity for the team to put a marker down and say, okay, now we're contenders for this, and we can play at this and compete at this level. So it's going to say to the players, it's a case of putting a marker down to CONCACAF, to all the teams in CONCACAF, the Caribbean, that Jamaica is still there, and still thinking long term and trying things out and learning about the squad, learning about the players are still our aim, is World Cup qualification. So it gives us an opportunity to test ourselves against probably a different type of opponent than what we've played against previously. So overall, in summing up, excitement, anticipation, and we can't wait, hopefully, for every one of the players to come through the door fit and well and able to contribute to the next 2 games. Our overall focus after this camp, and I still have my eyes on the future, is obviously the last 3 camps, and since I got the job, the focus was on the games, the Nation League, was making sure we qualified for this round, for the quarterfinals, and picking the players who we knew who had contributed the last 2 years. We've done that. But I think after this camp, what I need to do is a lot of recruitment, a lot of scouting. One of that will be on the island. I still need to get around the teams. I've seen a lot of Cavaliers. I've seen a lot of Mount Pleasant. And we're going to watch the game on Sunday, Cavaliers. So that will be interesting.
You are one side, this man watching in Jamaica, Cavalier and Pleasant alone, the man watching. Bell only played 45 today. It was a tactical injury. Well, I actually, when I saw the sub, I waited until after the game to read Luton's article about the game, and it didn't mention any injury issues. I just feel like it was probably set in stone. He was going to play a half today. And I'm hopeful that it wasn't for any reason. It didn't mention anything in the post-match, but I haven't really heard any direct quotes from the coach either. I'm just reading the match report, and it doesn't mention anything about him picking up any knocks during the first half. So I'm just going to assume that they probably have him on a liquor restriction. They probably also know that Jamaica is going to call him. So they're like, look, we're not going to put 180 in you right before you travel to go play again. My hope is that the coach is intelligent with the left backs, because I don't think Amari could give us 290 minutes in a row. So he's going to need to pick which game he'd rather play him in. You know what I'm saying? Or if he's going to plan on starting him in both, just make sure that he doesn't play him for 90 in both. I don't think he could get through that without any issues, Yeah. So let me turn this back on. I wanted to answer that question because that was a good question on Amari.
And I know there's talent on the island, and it's a great opportunity the next 2 or 3 months to come onto the island and pick up some games and look at the talent that is available. And also, like the JFF have done the last 2 years, is maybe in February to have an island camp, as I call it, where all the top quality players, we pick a squad, and we can have 1 or 2 games. We can have a camp, we can have a training. I can have a good close look at the local players and also play against good opposition. So JFF have done that in the previous 2 years, and we're hoping to do that again. So really making sure that, one of the main things I said, that we do not miss a talent. And that's on this island first. That's the priority. We do not miss a talent that is capable of playing for the senior national team. So we need to continue our search for that. But
Cavalier play Phoenix tomorrow. Well, Veer Phoenix.
Also, on the other hand, we have to scour Europe for little gems like Norman Campbell we had, and people also in the US that I didn't know that had been in the squad in the past, like Tyreek. We need to spread our net wider, but not in the fact that we just want to bring players in just for the sake. The players that we need to come in are the players who will make a difference and help us qualify for the world.
So me take away everybody wrench. I believe only my father still have a wrench, and I'm probably not even there. So I forgot to do that myself.
So I know it's quite a long introduction, ladies and gentlemen, but I just wanted to cover them aspects to make sure that I did that.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. As everybody can see on your screen.
So yeah, firstly, a long introduction by the coach, but I think most of it was actually smart to probably get through. Talk about the omissions, why they're not there. Talk about the new ins, why they are there. So I think it kind of helped to maybe eliminate some of the questions people might have asked. But some did kind of revisit some of the players he talked about anyway in their questioning. But yeah, let's get into the question and answer real quick. Honestly, Joel, I don't know. Like, one day me just figure like why I need to hand out wrenches anyway? Like what? Who made it a rule that people have to have wrench? But I do understand why people have it now. I mean, I understood then, but like basically Rob Smith. That's how I got it as well. Him just say, "Oh, let me kind of get a handle on what kind of question people are asked." So if you notice, the man forward out with all the people who drop out and why them drop out, all the people who forwarding and his thoughts and why they're in. Then him say, Mason, me know you're not gonna ask about that, let me talk about that. Then him say, Ravel, me know you're not gonna ask about that, let me talk about that. Then him say, talk about, USA being formidable, top coach Patch, big challenge to face them. He also mentioned in the end there, he wants to do similar to what Hal Grimson was doing when he was here, January, February time, have what he calls an island camp, where you get the local players into camp, you see them up close and personally, you get some matches arranged with some other players, and I mean other countries in the Caribbean, and you play some matches and you try to find some diamonds in the rough, right? So man forward and just touch all them point there, and as Rob said, don't ask me that. Him just lay the groundwork. Yeah, I agree that stuff. I really feel like that's what that was about for real. Adam McGregor said, I wonder if Kyle Butler will impress McClaren. Boy, time will tell, Him like a lot of players. Him see them, him say, I like the player. So who knows, he might like the player too. Where you say energy, you feel like the coach will take off you idiot? Energy, but that has been, well, no, I'm not even gonna say that. J-Ross say marginal. Gray not playing, Williams out of season, Maggie out of season, Blake out of season, Dixon not playing. Yeah, it's a lot. Look like Richard King have to go start for real. Because he might play. All right, so let me get into the question and answer segment now at the press conference. And of course, this press conference was virtual. So I don't know how. It wasn't a planting, people. I just was in the room and I raised my hand. But I guess, because Simon know the quality that's coming with the questions, he wanted to start off on a good note. So without further ado, people, listen to them boss question here.
Screen here before we open the floor for questions. The squad is on your screen, so you can make a note about it as well. Andre Blake, Jamali Wade, Shaquan Davis, Dexter Lambakisa, Tavon Gray, Damian Lowe, Mason Holgate, Ethan Pinnock, Richard King, Dishon Bernard, Amari Bell, and Greg Lee. Joel Latipoder, Isaac Hayden, Karoy Anderson, Casey Palmer, Tariq McGee, and Leon Bailey, Kaheem Dixon, Shamar Nicholson, Romario Williams, Demarai Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, and Mikel Antonio. All right, folks. So now what we can do is open the floor for questions. Please indicate by raising your hand. Please stay muted until you are identified. That would be greatly appreciated. All right. So first, let us commence with Jason Hall. You may commence, unmute, and pose your question, Jason. Go ahead.
All right, thank you, Simon. Jason Hall of Jason Gooner TV here. Thanks for that introduction, Coach. Very thorough. Like the comments you made, and I just want to ask a few questions. All right. So, first one, heard you mention a few players just now. I would like you to also mention a certain player. I had my eyes on him, watching him, tracking him play.
Yo, you see when I say that? In my brain, I just a picture 7 million why in the comment section. Why me have my eyes on John Russell?
Jonathan Russell, how far was he from getting into this team, and what are your overall thoughts on him? I know you've got to see him in one camp so far. Can you just speak a little bit about that player?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, and I'm going to speak to John, because he was involved in the first camp. I spoke to him before the last camp, and I said I'd keep an eye on him, and he wasn't playing at the time. I have a very good friend in the UK who's a Barnsley supporter, and he phoned me up and I met him, and enthusiastically talking about John Russell. Say since he's come back into the team, he's been a revelation for Barnsley. So he's certainly one that we've got in our radar, and certainly one that we're thinking about, and he's on our list, and he's someone who we can consider in the future. So that's another I need to pick up after this camp.
All right. So I just want to stop it there. So you heard what he said a while ago, people. He says, funny I ask, because he has a friend that is a Barnsley supporter that was telling him about John Russell. Now, I don't understand for the life of me. You call the player in the September window, and your response to a question about John Russell is to reference one of your friends that's a Barnsley supporter. So, what else besides him being in your squad would make him be on your radar? I didn't understand the referencing of a friend of his who's a Barnsley supporter telling him that he's been on fire. So, I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, Fana, I know he wasn't playing at one point, and that's why he wasn't called. But he's playing. He's playing. Okay, so Rob says he just don't like him. All right, simple. I guess that's possible. J-Ro say, hear this coach now. Monday score, and you go say him dep on your radar. So why you not pick him and you pick a bagger man now play? Kiss my teeth. I'm just saying. I was kind of surprised the anecdote about the friend even came up. You know what I mean? It just never makes sense to me. Like, you tell me you scout the player them, you soon hear about how him track them because someone asked him about that later. So it just seems a bit strange to me that he went that route with the answer. But let me let him continue so you get the full context of the answer.
And really look at closely.
One more. All right. One more. Just one more question, Simon. I wanted to go ahead and give my subscriber base a chance. So I had a great question and I wanted to share it with you this morning. It's for the coach. So social media discussions indicate concerns over your remark that young English-born players should prioritize England. How do you respond to critics who feel this approach may limit your commitment to recruiting high-potential Jamaican talent?
Oh, that will not stop us committing to pestering these players. That can make a difference. Obviously, that can play now, but also for the future. And of course, how do I know? It's fact. I speak to a lot of players, younger players, who have been involved in England youth internationals, and of course, being involved and being so close. And, with England going to World Cups, Euros regular, that of course, I understand the logic behind the decision to at least wait and not commit. And all we can do is keep doing what we're doing, provide support, continuous opportunities to watch these players, and communicate with them and form a connection. Nothing beats a connection. So anyone that we feel will make a difference that may be thinking of England, and I know there's a lot in the UK, but also, just around Europe as well. There's Jamaican players who have left the island. Norman Campbell is a perfect example of that. Tyreek also, leave the island, go and play in the US, go and play in Serbia, go and play in Norway, go and play in Belgium. It's not just the UK that we're searching. We're just searching for good players and then just trying to promote what Jamaica can offer, which is we want to get better. And if we can qualify for the World Cup, then all of a sudden it becomes an interest to top players.
Thank you very much, Jason. John Arnold, you may.
Yeah, so I asked him the question directly, what do you have to say to the fan base that are worried in your statement that you made about saying, when the players are young, their first choice is going to be England. The reason why I asked that is there are players who are young who have pretty much committed their future to Jamaica and are just saying, pick me. Now, I get it. There's 23 slots for the national team. Not every single player that I would want is going to make the squad every single time. But I just think when you make such a statement like that, it even if that's how you feel, right? There's a reason why, okay, Arteta purposely doesn't say certain things in press conferences, not because he wants to lie to the public, but because he knows that it really can't help the overall psyche of the team or the fan base. So he'll hold that one close to the vest. That's one you could hold close to the vest. You don't need to tell us that, well, I know many players that, are still waiting, and I know because I speak to them. Okay, but, what about the few? Like, why not highlight the few that want to? You have you have Karai in your team, you have Dexter in your team. Isn't that young players that could represent England? It's not like everybody we're linked to is Ballon d'Or level players. It's not like all of them are going to be looked at by England. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I agree that I agree that there's definitely going to be some that are willing to wait it out. We have some players that can play for us that are extremely talented. But again, you as the voice, the head coach of Jamaica national team, you need to have most of your statements be from a glass half full perspective. To me, you making that statement about the players wanting to wait and things of that nature, that's a glass half empty statement. And you need to be pushing optimism on the fan base, boss. Not saying you must lie to them, not saying you must sell them cocoa juice, but I just don't know if that was the right approach to take personally. I get the sense that he wants to be as frank and straight up as possible, but with something so delicate as the relationship that the Jamaican fans have with their players, and not more importantly, but more directly, the diasporan players or the players from the diaspora. It's a tenuous relationship between the fan base and some of those players. And I think, hearing statements like, a lot of them want to wait, it only just breeds more resentment within the fan base towards those players. So I just want the coach to understand that it's a delicate situation, that relationship, and we need to be doing things to fan those flames rather than fueling those flames, right? So that's my advice to you, coach. You may have a better perspective than I, because you are in the UK, you speak to these players, and I'm not saying that I know more than you on this subject. I'm saying I might have a better idea of the psyche of the fan base than you do. So I'm just trying to, it's a word of advice, so take it if you want. You know what I'm saying? So people are pretty upset with this coach. I mean, J. Ross leading the charge, but many others agreeing with him in the comment section. Yeah, so Signa says he was too honest with that answer, Jason TV. Some things you can just think about or be prepared to explain. Yeah, I don't know if he realized the implications of answering in the way he did. That's all. That there's no explanation that would make any sense. Big up yourself, Pastor. I purposely did this show late enough for your Sabbath to be finished so you could give your sense in the program. But you actually give dollars most of the time. I won't water down your thing to sense. There's no explanation that will make any sense in explaining J. Russell's non-selection when you call up McGee, Dixon, King. In every interview after his first, this coach has spewed nothing but lies. I never get upset at players saying they want to play for England like Hayden. It's the I'm focusing on my club ones that annoy me. Okay, so that is the line that you can stand right there. The focusing on the club thing. Yeah, well, yeah, we've heard it before. The only thing, Rob, you know what I can't stand out of everything with Jamaica fans? I just wish there was no differentiation between where the players were at all. So every conversation doesn't have to be framed around local, overseas. Because even that same thing you just said there, focusing on club. I remember when Boyz had just moved and told the fan base this. I didn't remember seeing. I mean, some people were upset, but most people were like, "Yes, youth, secure the bag, youth." But it's like from your born and grow overseas and play for Jamaica, people just expect say you don't need no bag. You're born with gold spoon in your mouth. People, I'm here to tell you, ghettos exist everywhere in the world. England, America, Columbus, which part me live right so. Them there everywhere, people. So just because a man born somewhere and you know used to how them grow and you don't know nothing about where them forward from, don't assume say the man them born with gold spoon. Enough of them brother here come from poverty just to see him. All right? So don't feel say them people are just, you know, don't feel them way the people. Don't judge the people them. Get to know them first and you will find out. Them people that might be the first set of people who get them parents out of some bad ends into some nice ends, you know? You never know. Bless up actually, what go on? Yeah, man, we're outside in the night. Yeah. Just say, may wait for England, brother. We understand. Wait, so nobody with the club foolishness. Just say, yeah, wait for England. 7, brother, 7 different minds. We are trying to reach World Cup. If the coach don't see a player better than what we already have, why bother pick them up? Yeah, fair enough. 10 defenders. All we are going to hear a stadium out. Boza was 30 caps deep. I'm talking like Ivan Toney. Yeah. Fair enough. Already entrenched in the squad. But I'm just saying, like, the difference. All I'm saying, Rob, on both sides, people need to eliminate where the player is from and just tell us how you feel about the player. Don't create some story because you find yourself being the champion for one or the other side. Just talk about the players like they are players. Simple. How about this? Let's talk about all the Jamaican players that have red blood. That there's no groups. If every one of them get cut at the same blood. So let's just discuss the players like that. Stop putting the boxes and local this, local that. Forget that, man. Let's talk about the players. That's all. And just because I say a comment that might sound like I'm defending something doesn't mean that across the board I defend. Stop doing that. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People at this point just seek out the division when it's not even there sometimes. I'm telling you, people create more problems than they need to. All right. So let me see. It's a pretty long program so far. So let me just do this, people. There was a couple of other questions I wanted to play.
Proceed, go ahead.
Let me see.
Hi, good morning, Steve. Thanks for taking some time. John Arnold from the Getting Concacaf newsletter. You mentioned knowing Pochettino and that you guys have somewhat similar challenges. Obviously, you with the extra hurdle of having to qualify.
I told Simon, you know, that I don't know if this is why they did this. Because I applauded him for making it virtual, just to give other people a chance to ask questions besides the local media. Nothing against them. They should ask their questions as well. I was actually surprised that more of them didn't come to the Zoom meeting. But I told him, I said, listen, one byproduct of doing it this way is you never know what media around the world is going to show up. Like I expected someone from England to be there just because of the link with McClaren. I knew that an American media house would be in the house as well to ask a question. So I think that just adds in the value of the press conference itself. It can't just be, we're playing an opponent. We'd love to have their press in there as well, So I thought that was a good thing.
You mentioned sort of trying to figure out the system, figure out the players, and kind of learn as you go with limited margin for error. You both want to get out of this quarterfinal. When you look at what Pochettino did in his first 2 games, what did you see that maybe reminded you of what you already know him as from his time at Spurs and other stops? And what did you see that maybe you felt was a little different that you'll be, watching as you guys go into these 2 matches?
I think, he had certain principles when he was at Tottenham, PSG, and he was in the Premier League as well. And them principles were very distinct.
Yo, you can tell, say, McClaren don't like Chelsea, The man call every other club name and do make sure him just never say Chelsea.
You know, they follow him around, and you add on to the principles. Always possession based, always in terms of build up, always in terms of being organized, being structured, and very, very strong transition team in terms of counter press. Excellent counter press. Got the players to do that as well, and on transition also got very good players. Great talent base, you know, not just in the US, but also players playing in Milan, players playing in Juventus, and playing in big tournaments. So he's got big game players, and I suppose a big expectation from the US of they qualified of doing well in the World Cup. They did well in the last opportunity when I remember the game against England went 60 minutes. They should win the game. So they've got the talent, and it's really, and we're the same. We've got talent. It's putting in a structure, giving them discipline, giving them principles. And what I saw in the first two games were distinct principles, which are Pochettino's. And as I say, whatever system he plays, it doesn't really matter. You know, they have certain ways of building up. They have certain ways of scoring. They have certain ways of counter press and rest defense and transitions. That they are a very good team. And I think what they've gone and done really well is the stature of Pochettino within world football is top. And hopefully after this camp, it'll prove to be successful.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, Sheridan, you're right. When I asked him if it was done on purpose, he did mention that it was kind of a necessity. But my hope is, I know the coach mentioned, he prefers to have the face-to-face interaction. But I just feel like we're kind of limiting the quality of the press conference by doing so. Like I said, we face opponents. They would like to be in the press conference to ask questions. We have capable I don't even want to say, capable, informed voices that are not able to be in the press conference that can add value to the press conferences. So, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I just feel like overall the questions were a little bit better today. I mean, I felt that way, at least, that they were at least more thought out. It just wasn't, I don't know. I felt like it went, I got a little more information due to the questions asked today than normal. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just biased. I don't know. But that's how I felt. And funny enough, I'm looking at the comments on JFF and it's kind of split 50-50. Some people are saying, boy, where them people are forward from, these YouTubers. Others are saying, thank God for these questions. And, so it's very, very split, like most things in life. But I would definitely say that it added some value to it for sure. We say that's deliberate. Yeah, perhaps people literally say England are play for we and our local one players, except the keeper and King plays overseas.
Bertram, you can unmute and go ahead.
Good morning, Coach. Can you hear me?
Bertram, yes.
So I am Cranky from Cranky Live TV, and I have two questions. The first is a two-part question. Coach, in your previous two press conferences, you didn't seem as familiar with the players as one may expect.
Big up, Cranky.
Some players were very.
Oh, by the way, Cranky, have you made it to your destination in Atlanta already? I'm like a couple of hours, well, not a full 2 hours, but a little more south of where you are now. If you made it to Atlanta.
Are you at the point where you're fully familiar with such players? And secondly, as a second part of that question, Jamaica needs another help.
It's two questions. So if you want to, you have to save that for the next part. So it's two questions. So if you want to save that and let Coach respond, because that would be a second question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the toughest things in international football is, and it's something I thrive on when I have any team, is getting a connection with each of the players. And it's very difficult when you're just having camps.
You know, Simon saying, nah, let Cranky get away with the 2 questions with 17 parts in them, you know? Yo, a cataract cause that, you know, people. A cataract cause that, man. Him get nervous when him start here the 2-part, 4-part, 7-part question, you know. Let me just rewind a little. I missed a little of the question.
Because that would be a second question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the toughest things in international football is, and it's something I thrive on when I have any team, is getting a connection with each of the players. And it's very difficult when you're just having camps, and camps are very hectic. It's very difficult when everybody is so spread out, though in the UK it's a bit easier. And so the connection, the relationship with some players can be instant, can be, got a connection. I know him and know his background, and you build that rapport. Some, it takes a bit of time. And that's what I'm working through, and I'm sure Pochettino's exactly the same. And it's frustrating when you have them for 10 days. It's so intense. You are so together. You get that connection. You get that little feeling between the player and the coach, and you can see that in training. And that's what I like, that connection, that relationship with the player, that I can be trustworthy and honest with him. And I think from day one we've developed that. I've got to say, you know, we got that connection where they know, you know, I have certain rules and certain ways of doing things, certain principles that we need that cross the line. There are consequences to that. But we have a relationship where there's a connection and there's a trust. So it's not just black and white. It's all about the relationship. And that takes time. And normally in a football club, you are there every day from 9 o'clock till 9 o'clock, 24/7. So many games, fast and furious. You get to know people such a lot quicker. International football, it's harder, but I'm certainly making strides, and certainly with our staff. That's one of the key things: spirit, culture, getting the team together, getting them eating together, getting them talking together, getting them open up, giving, you know, we're going to talk a lot this week also, and their input into, well, okay, you know, let's review each camp. What do you think? What do you think? I'm very interested in their opinion, because they've got to deliver. So the relationship, it takes time, and obviously international football, it takes longer.
Yeah, Cronky, your second question, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, given that you're not based in Jamaica and assisting with the development of the football program, or assessing locally based talent, which I think is an imperative for the country, what does your day-to-day involvement look like when you're not working during the international window?
I'm fortunate I can go on Y-Scout. So a lot of my work is office-based, computer-based. And with Y-Scout, all the players for Jamaica that we're not just in the squad, but on the fringes of the squad, and players that we need to identify, I'm able to watch their games after they've played. So it saves a lot on time. I can see a lot of players. I can see the current form that they're in, how many minutes they're playing. And I think that is and I always thought the first 3 camps, the intensity during camp, but also the intensity of the 2 or 3 weeks in between are so intense as well, because you're reviewing the camp, you're reviewing what went well, what went badly, and it's not just the players, but it's also staff. So it's making sure that everybody's on the same page, making sure that we give them the correct feedback. If it's possible, then we go and meet the players as well. So, you know, the last trip I met Mason Holgate in person. I met Isaac Hayden in person. But I thought, oh, you'll have a bit of time in between the camps. No time whatsoever. It's in my mind 24/7 about the last camp, about the form of the players. Are they injured? Are they fit? Can I watch them? Can I see them? Can I talk to them? Are they fit for this camp? So the week leading.
Hey, yo, in the comment section, listen, me see what I go on. Zine, I know people frustrated and they want, stop things from going and black people and all these things. But listen, I really don't. I'm never. I shouldn't say never, but I don't think I'm ever gonna block anyone. Reason being, we need to be able to have a difference in opinions and work it out, people. The whole of we are big people. Whether we're man, woman, the whole of we are big people. And even if we're not big, if you are bigger than the other person, then be that way. See? So I'm just saying, right? Me see the go to hell. Me see the words them get worse and worse. Just give your opinions. We can agree to disagree on a lot of this stuff. Sheridan, go and hold it down, my brother. It's okay. It's okay. We don't need to be blocking people. The conversation can be had. I understand. Yeah. That's totally fine, Sheridan. Yeah, if you don't want to see what I say, that's great. That's fine. But me personally, I won't be blocking anybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting everybody know that. That's not, I don't, yes, it's my channel, but I don't have any plans to be God. So I don't need to be blocking folks. Just, keep it. It won't always be positive, but just, yeah, they don't like each other. It's clear. They don't agree with each other. But as I said, both of them are big men. They should be able to have conversations without taking it to places that it don't need to go. All right. Yeah, so that's all I would say about that. Let's just keep listening.
Up to this camp is for me the worst week, because I'm always worried that players are injured and falling out and might not be able to come. And can they come on time? Can we get them into? So logistics are also quite hectic. So believe you me, there's enough to do to keep me occupied, and there'll be enough to do, from the end of this camp to March, where we want to fill that. And you're absolutely right about this island, and I'm absolutely correct about that. Was the FIFA slogan that we went to every country and said that in every country you must not miss a talent. How can we help you not miss a talent? And that's the message once this camp is over, that on the island, in the corner of the island, we mustn't miss a talent or a player that can contribute to the senior national team.
I appreciate that, Cranky. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Robert?
All right, so there's a bit more left to go in the press conference, but honestly, I don't want this show to go much longer past 2 hours. So the last thing I want to do for the last part of the discussion, right, is just look at the squad, right? I did start a poll in the comment section, just a little bit off the topic of football itself, just wondering what you guys thought. Rob Smith actually made me think of this. I saw him say the graphics is trash. You know what I'm saying? So I was just wondering how people thought about it. So I did start a poll asking, do you like the graphics for the squad? Yes or no? As of right now, it looks like yes is leading by a pretty wide margin. I don't mind the graphic. I like the idea of it being like a book, but I just don't understand why they kept it, angled. Like I would have just had it straight, and still had maybe a piece of that other page, so you get the effect that it is a book. But I just didn't understand the point of having it like this, so people have to read it that way. That's all. Other than that, I don't mind it though. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's creative. I don't mind it. Yeah, man. Cranky gonna get the punches, out there. Yeah. Okay, should have been closer. Yeah, I mean, the closeness is one thing. It was kind of small, I agree. But I just don't understand what the point of having it angled like that. You still could have gotten the point across that it's a book with it being straight. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That's the only thing about it. I don't mind it. I think it's pretty cool, the idea. Like, this is in a book that you're reading and it's right there. Yeah, that's cool. But yeah, something new, different. Nothing wrong with that. My only suggestion is, you want to increase the likelihood people can read it. So putting it at an angle I don't know if that was the best idea, but you know, it is what it is. I mean, regardless of what the graphics are, it doesn't really, you know, move the needle in any way or the other. You know what I'm saying? But it's a JT second question was a knockout. All right, let me see if I can find JT 2 question them, because the second time I hear people reference it, and I haven't, to be fair, I haven't listened to the rest of the press conference past. I think I did hear Robert Bailey who went after Cranky, but after that I didn't hear anything. I haven't been back to it, so let me see if I can find it.
And as you
Anybody have a timestamp of where JT would have asked?
know and probably remember the game that I think
is the problem child in that game for the United States.
Right, there we go. Oh no, I did hear this. He asked about CFUS first. And then I think the question that Energy referring to is the second one, which I'm pretty sure was about Hayden. So let's just hear that, and that's the last thing we'll do tonight. Of course, people, you know, the match is on Thursday. So, you know, we did devote some time to talking with Yuan. Big respect to you again, Yuan, for forwarding on. Remember, I have the 2 tickets for Sherman and Darren Scott. So Darren, link me on the IG, Jason Gooner TV. Have a ticket for you, and Sherman, you don't know, you have my link already. Link me up on the IG, whatever the case, or whatever easy for you, and I will get that ticket to you for the bleachers. All right, Sherman. So 1 less ticket for you by this time around, Sherman. Zine?
and everybody will play a part, believe me.
This is the second question.
Okay, my final question, Coach. Isaac Hayden, I'm sure a lot of fans would be excited as that position has been quite problematic for Jamaica. But there are also concerns amongst fans that the player, I think he's in the reserve team at Newcastle, hasn't been really playing football. And some fans are questioning the player's commitment as far as to play for Jamaica. As you'll be aware that there was an interview out there where he stated his dream is to play for England, even when his legs are not working. So for a lot of Jamaicans, that they would see that.
Yo, take that up with 876 stream, boss. Me never request no ticket. The man them just drop 2 ticket for me. So or pan uno. So me thankful. Them drop 2 ticket. Thank you. Buy on a ticket, man. We need the money.
As is he just here to rejuvenate his career and not necessarily here for the cause of getting Jamaica to the next level? Have you what's the temperature like with the player as far as his commitment? Is this just a thing where to help him get a club back, or he's really on board now to play for Jamaica? Thank you.
Yeah, he desperate to play for Jamaica. Desperate he was to get his passport up from our first conversation. And he realizes that, look, he's in the reserves at Newcastle. He needs a club in January. This is as much about the March window and the summer window and the next World Cup window as it is this window, whether, he contributes, he plays, or he doesn't. It's as much getting him integrated into the Jamaican way of working that we work. He's really enthusiastic about that. And you're right. Every player needs a cause. Every player needs motivation. And his motivation is to get back playing at the level in which he was playing 3 or 4 years ago when he first went to Newcastle. That's his only thing. And to be able to commit to Jamaica and hopefully in January be able to commit to another club will only make him better. And we're helping him with that. And he's got to come here and he's got to help us achieve our goals as well. If he doesn't, then he won't come again. It's as simple as that. There are consequences to everything. So he has to perform. He has to commit. And if he does, he'll help us. If he doesn't, and there's no commitment there and there's no help, then same with every other player. They won't be in the squad again. So every player knows what they have to do, and they have to perform. But you're absolutely right. We need players committed to the Jamaican cause. which is to qualify for the World Cup, which is to beat the US the next 2 games and qualify for the semi-finals of the Nations League. So everybody knows that. We have to pick players who are committed to that. And believe you me, after conversations, meeting him face to face, he wants to do that. But again, everything will be seen on the field.
Thank you very much, Jay Taylor. Robert Bale.
All right. So basically, there you go. You know, I know JT, just to paraphrase, the first question was about CFAS being like our main threat in the first game. He just wanted to know, had the coaching staff watched the game and everything. JT, come on, bro. Of course they watched the game. So yeah, that question, you know, very pointed, direct, really wanted to know about CFAS and his, you know, plans, how to use CFAS in this game. So, you know, direct question there. The second one, direct as well. That's one thing with JT that I have to respect. There's really no, you know, he gets to the point and he tells you, he's going to ask you straight up. I respect that about him. He has his own way of doing things, and that's his way, and great. And Cranky, I see Cranky getting a lot of beating in the comment section, and he's dying with laugh. I don't know why, but you know, he asked 2 questions. One was about, you know, kind of speaking to you know, him not being on the island and how does that affect his ability to scout players, you know, which I thought was a good question. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I didn't really have so much issue with Cranky's questions today. And Cranky knows I'm an honest person. So if I had a thought about it that I didn't like, I would tell him, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't know why he's getting I see energy especially didn't like Cranky's questions. I don't know what energy had against the question so much. I don't think Travis liked them either. And Travis, I see you saying, and you always say this every window, every time a squad come out, YouTube is too toxic when 23 is named every window. I don't think it's a Jamaican thing, Travis. You only follow Jamaican YouTube, so you think it's a Jamaican thing. Yeah, you think it's a Jamaican YouTube thing, but I guarantee you, when USA squad officially drop, which I don't know when, you know, because I was looking for it today and I couldn't find it. So I'm assuming Patch is just waiting until the weekend is over to call his squad, because I didn't see anything. Maybe I've missed it, but I know they're really good about putting their stuff on their social media, and I haven't seen anything. I just seen recently them you know, putting up what their players have been doing lately, you know. Tim Weah score again today. Boy, this guy is on fire for Juve, bro. Pepe scored today. Haji Wright scored today. My gosh. And brother, you do so well, man. USA team hard to pick right now, you know. All right, am I missing the squad? Where is it? Sunday at 10 a.m. So, yeah, he was waiting till the last second. So, we'll get the squad tomorrow morning. So, that's perfect, people. So, you know my style. The reason why I never really, you know, go too far into the squad tonight is because, you know, I'd like to do it looking at the both teams' tactical manager style, or not tactical manager style. What am I saying? Big up tactical manager on his channel and everything. Tactical pad style. So I'm going to load up the US squad once I get it tomorrow. There's going to be one final bit of programming about the EPL tomorrow, you know, on Jason Gooner TV. We'll follow the EPL, and we have a preview and a review show. So tomorrow, after the games are finished, tomorrow night, we'll do a review show. And then starting Monday, it will be all Reggae Boys content leading into Thursday. So look out for the next program. We're going to go a little bit more in depth as far as tactics, players chosen. We'll have both squads by then, so we can talk about both. Yeah, so basically look out for the content. I will be dropping thumbnails early as I can so that people can know when I'm forwarding live. But you know, typically Jason Gooner TV will be forwarding late night. If it's not late night, it will be sometime in the day, pretty much anytime. But I try to at least make the thumbnail a few hours before, set it so that people can maybe see it, and I'll share it a few minutes prior to going live. So I just want to thank everyone that stopped by tonight inside the building. Let me just go through the comment section before we officially close off. As I said, we're going to dive deeper into this squad sometime this week. Definitely not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last little portion of EPL content before leading up into the game. You know, we have to bring the review, see where people are in the standings. It's looking like a very tight week in the predictions. A lot of people up for the stake of the title, and really only one candidate right now for the donkey of the week. Everybody else is doing half decent, but this particular person having a struggle this week. But yeah, I look forward to tomorrow's fixtures. Of course, you know my side is playing. I don't know if I'm just quite looking forward to that game because we're how we're playing right now. But hey, we need a miracle, people. It could happen, but I'm not going to bet on it tomorrow. All right. But again, I want to give a special thanks to 876 Stream Zone, Yuan, for coming on. Yuan Campbell came on, you know, gave us some a little bit of background of what's going on for the game. Told us there's some special things in store for early pre-game. So make it a point, people. The game starts at 7:00. Remember, the game starts at 7. All right, people. No, you know when the game starts, but get there by 7, people. Get there early, fill the stadium up, get the atmosphere going. You know, my goal and my hope is when the US team is warming up, they're already feeling that atmosphere and that, you know, dang, this is different from the last time we came. It's just way more people and it's different. You know, that can make a difference. I'm telling you, people. So let's try to make the place a fortress like it used to be. And one of the ways we do that is just make sure we fill up the place first and foremost. So I'm hoping for, you know, it's been looking like what, 16,000 cube or 17,000, maybe a little over 20 against Honduras. Can we get the 30 mark against the US? Or is that asking too much, people? Can we get to that 30 mark, 25 to 30,000? I'm not asking for a sellout of 35. Give me that 30,000, people. 25, 26, 27, somewhere around there. That's doable, people. That's doable. It's the United States. People already not like them. So that's even more incentive to go and cheer and boo them, right? So, people, if you can, please, I'm begging you, get to the stadium, people. Get to the stadium, and get there early. Get there early. All right, people. All right, before I go, let me just check in and see what's going on. I support Jamaica, so I would not follow a next country YouTube football business. Yeah, and I don't expect you to, Travis, but I'm just trying to educate you that this is not something that's Jamaica specific. You know, everywhere in the world, they scrutinize and talk about squads and say, oh, I want this player in it. It's just a football conversation. It's not Jamaica specific. That's all. You know, one can stop me from beating squad selection. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow at 10. It's hard to diss someone who tunes you out and does not recognize that you exist. I welcome the so-called diss. All right, Lance said, this squad in no shape or form is in keeping with what the coach is saying. Since the squad is true, before us, then the coach is a liar. Wow. Well, there you have it. Steve Mack better start attend these local press conference with a double mouth guard because him don't have any teeth. Well, that one the far out. Yo, Caribbean Rivers and Seas. One black god. Jamaica squad before USA. We have fallen off. Yeah. Yo, nobody not talk about that, you know. We always are the ones who come. Well, they say that Jamaica always forward with the squad the latest. But USA won't drop after we. Because the same hogwash. Because you're one of them. In a diaspora versus local narrative. Oh gosh, Travis, come on. I cannot see certain personnel comments because I block them in every forum where I visit. I have a feeling I know which ones you block. You can't compare the USA squad to Jamaica. The man them have bare big ballers. Well, that's why I want to do it, know yourself, because people need to know the truth. Yes, I want Jamaica to win. By any means, I would love us to win. But we need to understand what we're up against too. So when I do my tactical analysis and breakdown, I like to include the other team because it's important. We're not going to go out and say, all right, B side, go over that side, they make a play against you. No, it's going to be other people who are playing. So we need to know about them too. I mean, it's going to be a reality check for a lot of fans when they hear about the players and what they're doing and how they've been doing. But that's the task we face. It's gonna be an uphill battle. As long as the weather is good, the match should be epic. All right, fan, I say, I'm gonna Dede. Lord have mercy. So you couldn't, all right, Travis, you couldn't just tell the man something without the first part. You know the man is a man of the cloth, and yet look where you tell him to go. Come on, bro. You could have just said the coach a liar or whatever you're going to say, bro. Jump off real cobra. See, like all them things, brother. Just why you can't just make your point without the disrespect thing? I guess you just like disrespect people, Travis, honestly. It's like it's your way of communicating in a business. You cuss people and you yell at people. That's so you state. EPL can stay home, international time, you know. No, Chile. Me not gonna do that, brother. Me not gonna do that. That's one thing about me. If me say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, brother. Even if it's later than whatever, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, man. Bus load of us from Westmoreland live up in that stadium. That is awesome, Travis. Them thing they will love for hear. Them thing they will love for hear. Yeah, man, bless up, Adam. Again, respect for forwarding, bro. A long time I don't see you from the early days, you know. Respect for forward tonight. Oh, me just realize why I actually now want no EPL talk, you know. The great one lose 4 games in a row, but let him tell it is just 2. 2 in the league. 2 in the league, not 4. Just 2 in the league. I know we might try a trick. Brother, 4 games you lose, dog. Just like up that. That's it. Can't do nothing about it. You just lose 4. Yeah, Travis, I know. Never walk alone. Blah, blah, blah. Be a family member where a Liverpool fan, you know, so sick of them, you know. USA will have their crowd. That is true. What? A 8-hour stream you put on? Jaja. Big up yourself, Massey. We're outside. I need to add your score them to the listing, you know, because I get it, you know, but it's not, I'm going to put it on the big board yet. We say, beat USA. Yeah, man. Beat USA. USA, I try Tifo style, drop on the squad from early. Yo, Caribbean, how are you dealing with this fake Gaza Ryan thing? I don't understand. Who is Ryan and why is he a fake Gaza? That is true, Energy. That is true. To be fair, Lansley cost people too. That is true. That is true. But I don't know if him use them type of terminology there. It's a different type of cussing, you know? But I could be wrong. I will scrutinize more, you know? Because me a Switzerland, you know. I have no side. At least not when I'm on this platform as the host. I try to split justice as much as possible. Tejan Buchanan and Ismail Kone are healthy for Canada again. That's big. That is big. Can Tejan Buchanan actually play for Inter though? That's the question. Because the coach not rate him. Him never play him. Our guys are saying no. 3.5 in my eyes because Spurs away is a given. I heard you said on your show recently you can't see good at night, but your comment on this show, you're outside. You try. Hey, one thing, you know, you can't tell them people things, you know, them coming like elephant with them memory and they remember everything. Yeah, I'm doing better this week, Mas. I have like 2 correct scores out of the first 6 so far. I do 3 bad at all. Right now, I think basically I'm a tie for lead right now. Me and Biggs G. See who I will have some different pick tomorrow. So basically the tie must get broke tomorrow. Of course, it's gonna be down to Arsenal. Because everybody will say draw or Chelsea winning. I think it's just me and one other person. I'm sure must go for Arsenal win too. So I'm gonna add for him on it will be him too. Yeah, Greenwood did get a goal. Yeah, they got mashed up. All right. Yeah, so that is it, people. I'm not stretch out the show no more. Big up to all the people that were forward. Not gonna name out everybody, that would have taken a little too long. But thanks again for the support, people. I haven't even checked or asked for likes tonight. So let me just see how wanna treat me in the night. Yeah. Jano, 56 likes, people. Boy, I'm gonna do me wicked. I'm gonna really do me wicked tonight. But it's all good, people. I enjoyed bringing you the content. Didn't get to the entire press conference, but that's okay. We did the Cliff Note version, spoke about it. And yeah, I am, a bit surprised by some of the players, not surprised by some. But I do feel like, we have enough pieces to kind of put together some semblance of a decent enough team to make a challenge for this 2-leg tie. But I will get a little bit more in depth with my thoughts on the squad once I return sometime this week, more than likely Monday. That will be the first program kind of leading into the match week. At some point during the week, I like to do that tactical preview. More than likely I will do that on Wednesday. But on Monday, we just want to have a little bit more of a discussion just about the players we selected, my thoughts on players that maybe, could have been considered, and my reasons for why. And of course, by that time, we will have news on the US squad. So a portion of that show will just be highlighting some of the US players, and my thoughts on who they could have omitted from their squad. So it will just be a USA Jamaica squad-based discussion. That show will probably include a little bit of news about the other quarterfinals as well. So that will be a nice informational program where we just talk about the squads picked for this quarterfinals window. And as we get closer to the game, we'll become more focused on the 2 legs, especially the first leg of the Jamaica versus USA match, predicted 11s, things of that nature, keys that I see to victory in the match. All right, people. So look out for a bunch of contents around the Reggae Boys this week. But remember, all my EPL fans that follow the channel as well, we will have the customary EPL review show tomorrow night at some point. We'll try to get it in at a decent hour so folks can wake up and go to work on Monday. At least all those that have work on Monday. For some, it is Veterans Day Monday in the United States. If you're in the States, so you might not have work anyway. And if you're cranky and you're 97 years old and retired, you don't have work anyway. So yeah, big up to everyone, people. Thanks again for the support. Or should I like the video some more? And remember, my 2 winners, Sherman and Darren, you guys just reach out to me. Sherman, you have my contact, so that's no issue. And Darren, we never really met before tonight. So I don't have any info for you, but I did drop my Instagram. Hopefully you found that and you sent me a DM so we can get that ticket to you as well. All right, people, big up on yourself, and thanks again for the support. I am Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV, and as you see in the headline, USA in 5 days, people. Fast approaching. Let's go, Reggae Boys. Thanks again for the support, people. I'm big up 876 stream for the giveaways. We'll return shortly with more Reggae Boys content. We can do this, people. We can do this. It's going to take a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a very good plan. But it's possible, people. Big up on yourself, and thanks again for the support. One love.